Hello and welcome back to another episode of Why So Sidious a Nerd podcast. Joining me today is my great and wonderful co-host Andy, and we are bringing you our coverage of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episodes 6 and 7. And we have been pretty busy lately. A lot of shows going on right now. Of course, we were covering The Boys, just dropped our coverage of the last two episodes of that. And the new one came out today. Probably wait to cover it next week because we do have a lot going on. The mall finale is next week, and Andy was just on Clan Brandalorian's podcast. He's been doing that every week, so please go check him out over there. We've also been covering at the end of Week in Geeks because it is a shorter show, so please go check that out over there. And we do have a very special, of course, it is a Star Wars time of year with May the 4th coming up next week on Monday. So if you're listening to us live on YouTube, the episode will be out on Monday, and if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, this will be out on Monday as well. So either way, you'll see it on Monday. And don't forget to check us out on social media, Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube. Check out that merch store. Got a bunch of good stuff to get. And please leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify if you're listening. It really helps out the podcast.
Yeah, come on, you bastards. 5 stars.
Right?
Not 4, not 3, 5.
And you don't have to leave a review. Just click 5 stars. You can write a couple sentences about how wonderful and good looking Andy is, or, how crazy JD is. Or how bad Dave's internet is. You can do whatever you want. Make sure it's 5 stars.
I was looking over our Spotify analytics over this last week, and did you know that 53% of our listeners come from Japan?
What?
I suspect there's some VPNs in play.
Okay.
But just looking at it, and it gives you all the countries where it's down.
Yeah,
we get some wild ones in the lower percentages.
Right.
But it just said that like 50, I think it was like 53.9% of our current listeners, assuming some of them may be using VPNs, but it comes from Japan.
I mean, a certain percentage of them have to actually be in Japan.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you're listening from Japan, wow, how's it going over there? Thank you for being a fan of Why So Sidious.
30% was like US, a little bit like 2.5% was like in Great Britain. So it's like my friends probably, because I've got that many friends that it does 2.5%. And then just wild other countries like Argentina, Ukraine, places like that.
And we also hit a milestone. We hit 500,000 views on YouTube. So cheers to all 4 of us for hitting that milestone. Let's get to 1 million. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers. All right, we're climbing up slowly, but we'll make it. And before we get into the episode, did you hear the reports about the season 2 viewership dropping like almost in half? Where season 2 drew 4.5 million views and 10 million hours in its 5-week window. It's a 54% decline from season 1. I'm enjoying this season more.
Of Daredevil?
Of Daredevil, yeah.
Fucking hell.
I know, right? Which is concerning because they always take that like too much, like think it's too important if people don't watch it, even if it is still a good show. So I hope they don't cancel it. I don't think they would though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like everyone watches it the second it's out. Like, normally me and my wife, we watch it together, and she's watched like the first 2 with me, and then she's dropped off because she hasn't been able to catch up, and we like together we prioritize other shows like Maul and The Boys,
right?
So she's like so she'll get to it eventually, just because like it's low viewership now. It's like The Acolyte is like had a resurgence recently, and it's really bumped up its viewing figures. So like these things take time.
Yeah. So, but are you enjoying this season as much as season 1 so far?
Been a weird one. Like, we'll get to chatting about it because obviously we've got a couple of episodes to cover. But it's been up and down for me. It really has. I don't think. I mean, the problem is we've got like 3 epic seasons of Netflix Daredevil that we compare it to so much, and it's really trying to hit those heights, and I'm just not sure it's getting there.
Yeah.
Did
you ever expect it to though?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I maybe not season 1 because like we know it was like a mishmash because like they used half the season that was already done, and then Kevin Feige and his team came in and they redid a bunch of it. And so, or even that we were told that like season 1 and 2 was originally one story, and they kind of like split it into 2 and had to like come in and give season 1 an ending and then give season 2 a proper start. So this has been like one continuous season that was kind of chopped in the middle. But yeah, to me, it's been up and down. It really has. Like, there's some characters I love. There's some I'm just getting annoyed by and just hope they get killed off soon. Also, with this week's episodes as well, like, especially maybe season 6, is like, it feels like they're trying to be Andor, like MCU's version of Andor, because they were trying to build up the suspense, in this way that the way that Andor did, where they built up all that suspense, like season 2 of Andor, where they built up to the Gorman massacre, or season 1 where they built up to the prison stuff, and then it exploded at the end.
Like the protests are just getting larger.
Yeah, so
and
it
larger
feels like
and
that
larger.
they've been trying to do that in this, and like build up the tension in the city, and just sort of light a match where it's finally going to explode. And that felt like it was supposed to be season 6. And I'm just sat there going, "You're trying to be Andor, but you haven't hit those heights." And it's kind of like
Right.
just not quite there for me just yet. And we're going to get more into these 2 episodes, but again, like the ending of episode 6, and then there was like no repercussions of the Daredevil Kingpin fight at the start of episode 7.
Yeah.
Like Daredevil did nothing; he just let him go.
Yeah, I thought I missed something for a second with that.
So yeah, I'm not sure it's quite hitting the heights. What about you? How are you liking it?
I think I like it a little bit more. I do miss the Punisher. Definitely Punisher in season 1 was cool, but I mean we'll get into it. But I think I do like it a little bit more. I'm enjoying it overall.
I mean, I am still enjoying it. I think it's definitely ramped up these last 2 episodes, but it just feels like it's trying to emulate the success of something else that it just like I said, of Andor and of maybe Netflix, but hasn't got up there yet.
Right. Well, this is your official spoiler warning if you haven't seen episode 6 and 7. So episode 6 kind of kicks off with Karen and Matt discussing about, killing, where she's down to kill and he's like, whoa, let's take it easy here. And that kind of leads to a scene later with Karen and Bullseye where she's about to shoot him and he comes in and stops her last second. And she's like pretty pissed about it. She's like, you're choosing Fisk over the people you love. Like, let me carry this burden for you. I was wondering, Matt's like, hey, where's Elektra? Like she killed it. She's cool. But what do you think about this back and forth, and what side do you kind of lean towards?
Oh, I mean, Karen's always been a bit of an annoying character, isn't she?
Yeah, hit or miss.
And this season, again, has been building up that tension between the 2 of them especially when they've talked about what Frank was like. And like, she's like, I wish Frank was here because he'd just execute him like in front of Matt with no problems, and stuff. So they've always had this opposing view on that kind of situation though. Like, she's done what she's needed to. She's killed before herself,
right?
As she even mentioned when they chatted about it. So it's just we know what we get with Matt. We know that he's like, he's Batman and he just doesn't kill.
Right.
He will fuck the shit out of people and he will break limbs and leave them in comas and throw them off building tops, but he will not kill them. And it's just
he hasn't killed anyone.
No.
No, right? No, okay, making sure.
No,
he stayed true to it.
That's his thing. He just doesn't want to.
Almost killed Bullseye.
Yeah, and that's why he saved him, because he said, "I feel guilty because I tried to kill you, so I have to make amends for that."
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, "Don't give him redemption." So I'm glad they had that little chat later on, where he's like, "I will never forgive you for Foggy." He's like, "But I kind of do need to forgive you a little bit myself to move on." He's like, no, come on, don't give him that satisfaction. Like, he's a cold-blooded killer. He's like, he should be paying for those things. Like, don't give him that ease of mind where he wants his redemption sort of thing going on. So yeah, that's just it with Matt, though, isn't it? We know what we're getting, and then like, he's always gonna have a fallout eventually with anyone that opposes that view. It just happens to be the woman that he supposedly loves at the moment. So
yeah, that's how it goes. I see both of their point of views. The show's written so well too, to where you really can kind of see each of their sides, and that's why the Punisher and Daredevil make like a great duo, because the Punisher will do the dirty work for him and Matt will be like, hey, don't do that, but he's like, all right, I'll kind of let it go though.
It's still great, that apartment scene in season 1 where he's like, what about this guy? Did he deserve to live? Shoot them in the head. Matt's like, ah! It's just brilliant.
So funny.
Yeah.
So Charles and Fisk have a breakup over the phone. That leads to things later. But Jessica Jones, was this her first? Was she in the previous episodes?
No, this is the first Born Again episodes.
So she says a guy from an agency called. He was interested in people like us. Not everyone said no, though. So do you think that's like Allegra and Charles? Because she just kind of mentioned Charles later when she has him hostage for a second. Or you think there's something more to that?
I mean,
or is it just a defender? It's the defenders, obviously, right?
Oh, I mean, definitely, because she mentions Luke, because she says, "Where's Luke?" to him, and he goes, "He's abroad doing the Lord's work."
Right.
And to me, that almost feels like confirmed as well that that's Luke Cage's daughter as well that she's got, because they have a kid in the comics, and the kid's called Danielle, and she's got a kid
together.
now yeah.
Okay.
And so the kid in the comics is called Danielle. Her kid in this is called Danielle, and she's asking after Luke, where's he gone? Because we didn't see her father around when she was getting attacked at home, whilst the kid's running around the front room playing with a grenade. So it seems to me that they're probably talking at least about Luke, if probably maybe a couple of other superheroes, especially if what's her name? I forget every time. Not Vanessa. The one from Thunderbolts, Allegra de Fontaine. Yeah. I thought she had another name for some reason. Val.
Val.
Especially since we know she's involved with Charles, so it seems like she's probably got, because this is Thunderbolt supposedly takes place between season 1 and 2 of Born Again, according to the official Disney Plus timeline. Which means that by this stage, when this season started, she's already got the new Avengers in Avengers Tower that she obviously bought, as we know now. But as we know from being on the phone and what Charles' interactions with Kingpin is that they're trying to organise, to ship guns and military weapons out to Africa and places like that.
Yeah, start civil wars.
So Valentina is obviously still up to no good, even though she's got the new Avengers, but although they pretty much got all the dirt on her, so they just do what they want, and
right.
And Valentina just funds them, I think, is the situation there. But so it does seem that there's a lot going on, and it is like Luke that's abroad, and we know he's back for season 3 because he posted spoiler pics like a dumbass.
But it seems pretty obvious now that they're going to be in it. It's
well, yeah. I mean, it was already confirmed to us anyway. But then
right.
I think it was the fact that he posted pictures from the set, and there was one particular photo that he had to delete, didn't he?
In the prison.
Matt in a prison gear.
Yeah.
So
oops.
That was not good. And it's funny because I went back and looked at the same post the next day, and that one picture, he kept the entire post up and just deleted that one picture.
That's funny.
It was like, a bit late now, mate. Fucking hell.
I'll admit though, I was slightly underwhelmed by Jessica Jones, as never seeing her before. What are her powers exactly? Is she just kind of like super strength?
You didn't watch any of her Netflix stuff?
No.
Okay, fair. So she's like super strength.
Oh, that's
she's not as invulnerable as say
Captain America.
Luke Cage is. And that sort of stuff. She doesn't have like the invulnerabilities that they do. She can take a beating still, but she still gets hurt more easily than they do. She doesn't have like invulnerable skin like Luke Cage and stuff like that. So her powers dropping in and out is a contentious point, I think, because nowhere in the comics did that ever happen. She's never had her powers drop in and out after she had a kid or anything like that. It seems like a very common trope that they do in some superhero stuff, that a woman has a kid and all of a sudden it drains her powers or something, or she's unable to use them as much because she's now a mother. And stuff like that. So maybe it's like a psychological. So I was reading up on it, and they're maybe it's a psychological thing that in order to protect her daughter, she needs to give up her powers a bit more and be a normal mum. And I was just like, that seems like bullshit to me.
It seems like it should be the opposite. You become more powerful when you have a kid,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. So her powers dropping in and out is very much an MCU only type thing, and it's disappointing that they're doing that, because you don't want to see that. It's a bad story narrative as well. And yes, I was completely underwhelmed by her appearance in these 2 episodes. Not the, I mean, it's
the action scene was cool. Kind of, they worked well together. That was all right.
Yeah, I mean, if you've not watched Defenders and you want to see these 2 in action together, they do work well. They have a lot of banter. They play off each other really well.
Right.
But it didn't feel like that in this. It didn't. It just didn't have that Netflix Defenders feel to it for those 2. It just didn't match up to the rapport you've seen them have before. It was probably more friendly because they've known each other a while now, I guess, inside the MCU. But yeah, I'm definitely underwhelmed by Jessica Jones' appearances in this. It just didn't sit up and stand out for me.
Yeah, when it comes to her versus Elektra, for kind of just women who come into Matt's life, I feel like Elektra had more aura around her, she's definitely way more of a badass. Jessica Jones, it was kind of just I don't know.
Compared to these 2 appearances so far, yeah, Elektra had more aura. But Jessica Jones had 3 series of her own show plus Defenders, and so she did have a lot of aura in that. Can I just point out, one of our esteemed colleagues who was not here today is asking the relevant questions in the chat.
Oh no.
What are your thoughts on rumors of certain vanilla flavor additives being extracted from a beaver's butt? So nice to see that JD's working hard in his new job that he's now already taken a sick day from. As he mentioned in our chat. So nice. Thanks, JD. We appreciate your input there, bud.
Yes.
Maybe keep it a bit more streamlined to superheroes' butts instead. That would be lovely.
Yeah, I have no comment on that. So there was a Buck and Heather scene that was kind of weird, where he's like, recreate what happened with you and Muse.
Trick me harder, Daddy.
Yeah. So there'll be some sexual tension there. We'll see how it goes. Don't like Heather though. She's
one of the. When I said at the start, there's certain characters you hope you get killed off quickly. I hope it's her. It doesn't seem like they're going to. It seems like they're moving her to be towards the new Muse in season 3, perhaps. Because she obviously kept his mask. She's having these flashes of him and these little breaks, and she's getting more and more violent. And sort of losing the.
She really enjoyed choking Buck.
Oh yeah, you could see it in her face. Like, just that wasn't even acting; that was just real. But yeah, so the rumors suggest that she's going to become the new Muse in season 3, and she'll play out a bit more of a storyline. But I think they've already played her storyline too far as it is, and that we could easily get rid of her, and it would make the show better.
Yeah, she's good as the corrupt therapist that gives the false results to the DA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Clan Brandalorian in the chat. Welcome, buddy. He's commented Daredevil getting freaky, or the show
very freaky.
I mean, it's not The Boys freaky, but it's still, that's the first time I think we've seen something like that. But yeah, her character is just annoying as hell, isn't it? You just like her exploding at Karen as well, and it was like you knew that was going to be a meeting of who had the best wit to do that, because you got the psychologist versus the mouth.
Yeah, so. Right. But Daniel and BB, this definitely has a crescendo at the end of episode 7, but Buck wants her taken out, and she is too brave, like she's definitely like she's around Fisk way too much to like not be the leak, and Buck tells Daniel to feed her something false and see if she puts it on her report. What's it called? The BB report. And the way Daniel like sets up the false story about Fisk not rerunning for mayor, it seems like he knows that she's the leak and really doesn't want her to die. The way he was like, okay, like, please don't say anything. Like, don't tell anyone. Like, I like you. I don't want you to die. And then they go over to his mom's house. She almost sends the text and then deletes it at the last second. But he still found the chip in her pocket, and he's saying, I can't protect you from Buck. Like, you're obviously doing some shady stuff here. So that kind of, goes into episode 7. But it was kind of I was kind of having some anxiety watching the scene, like, because I don't want to see her die. She's a cool little character. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Uncle Ben's, I mean.
Yeah. Uncle Ben's.
Uncle, it's Ben, right?
It was Ben.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's because you say that and just the rice pops in my head. I didn't want it to be racist because they're black characters as well. So, but yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we know that she's been playing Daniel for the long term, just to use him for information.
She kind of likes him though, I think.
I'm not sure that's 100% real, because that whole when she goes to like potentially kiss him, and he's like, stop, I kind of like know what you're doing, kind of thing.
Right.
It just felt it's all a ploy, because maybe she feels like things were getting out of control, and that he wasn't probably playing ball anymore because he's been kept on a bit of a leash by Buck and Fisk. And so to me, it just felt like she was going in for the kiss, and it was all a bit of a fake thing just to keep him on side a bit more, because she knows that he's interested in her, because he's said a few times they're having a date, and she's like, it's not a date. And
I think she kind of is, though. She told her friend, like, he's weird, he's with Fisk, but I don't know, there's something about him. I remember her saying that. So I do think there's, like, a little, like, I can save him in her. You know what I mean? Which, spoiler alert.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not convinced whether she actually likes him, and I think she was just pumping him for information, so to speak.
Right.
But I don't want to see her die. I think she's a cool character.
Mm-hmm.
She's cute as well. That's always helps.
She's, attractive. I'd probably do the same thing if I was Daniel.
Yeah, that's an absolutely fair point. If I'm single and got money and in the position of power, I'm like, yeah, cool, let's roll with it.
Yeah, right.
I'm so corruptible. I'm so
yeah.
corruptible. It's
I'm glad I'm not a politician. So there's the protests for at City Hall over Vanessa's vigil. Vigil, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
They're saying resist, rebel. Governor pulls his support for Fisk, and then Karen puts up the projector showing all the bad things he's done to the different townsfolk around New York. It was a little cheesy.
So badly trying to be Andor season 1 finale, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, after you
put
said
up the
Andor,
hologram and like from the droid, and they can instigate that riot. Oh my god, it was so trying so hard to be that and just not quite. It was. I mean, it was the riot. I mean, I think when they did sort of riot scenes after that were like the vigilante task force, anti-vigilante task force. They're like manning the fences, and the poor kid that gave like Daredevil the door pass got obviously killed by the cop by Powell, who I hope gets killed himself at some point.
He has to.
Hopefully by like Bullseye or someone.
Yep.
But yeah, so. And they obviously, again, kind of half copying the Gorman massacre from Andor, where they like shoot one of their own and then use that as a reason to get on the crowd.
I didn't even think of that part too.
So it's just like, yeah, it was trying so hard to be something else, and like Rise, the intensity didn't quite hit off. But I did think it is good when you get those types of scenes though, and you see like the city starting to turn a bit, because obviously it was getting more and more intense, and then. After Vanessa's death, the city seemed to turn a bit more when they were like all of his people were going to this, going, "Oh, we can use this as a way to like justify more things that we can do." And they're like, "Well, actually, no, the city's turning more and more now, so you've got to be careful on this one. If you just start doing more harsher things, it'll backfire even more."
Right. I definitely see now how Fisk is not mayor in Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Like it's pretty obvious he's not going to make it to the end of this season. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
So at the end of the riot, Karen's identity is revealed and she's arrested. So we'll talk about that next. But Murdoch confronts Fisk in the basement, and he kind of offers his condolences for Vanessa. And he's like, this war only makes us lose the ones we love. No one wins. Like, this is just going to keep getting worse and worse. And he's saying, you leave New York, so do I. And Fisk is like, there's nothing to give me or take away. Like, he's just totally broken right now. And Fisk loses it, just gets super pissed off, and he's there fighting with emotion at first, where Daredevil's just dodging all of his punches as he's just swinging for the fences, and then Fisk gets the upper hand. They had a pretty cool back and forth, and then Daredevil pulls out the nunchuck sticks, and it's like, that's kind of cheating because he only has his fist, but he does a lot better with those. So, and at the end, he's saying, Fisk says, "Are you going to arrest me, kill me? Like, you can't do either of those right now, so what are we going to do here?" So, even though it kind of cut ahead to the next episode, just what we got here, did you like this back and forth between the two main characters?
Yeah, because it plays back through their long history. Like, the way that the way he dodges the punches at first was just great. It's just like classic Daredevil, even though he himself is still like recovering from previous battles. And I absolutely loved his suit in these two episodes, where it's kind of like part black, part red, where like the black paint or whatever had started to be stripped off a little bit. Cool. And it looked really cool. It kind of reminds me of like having played Spider-Man games recently, of like when they sort of like start ripping the symbiote off in parts, and like you see the red underneath it and stuff. So seeing his original red suit underneath and like coming through, I thought that's a cool look. But yeah, dodging those punches was great. And obviously, like I said, Fisk gets the upper hand and just tosses him around like a rag doll. And I think Fisk sort of backs down, doesn't he, when he throws Daredevil into his white pitcher that he bought from Vanessa.
Yeah, that upset him.
And just rips it apart, and then he's like, "Shit, what have I just done?"
Right.
This was the last thing I had, sort of thing. But then a few more beatings. Matt pulls out his nunchucks, kicks the crap out of him, and then that scene where obviously he does the slow mo where he's kneeing him in the face.
Yeah,
that's straight out the comic books.
Okay, cool.
That scene was like picture for picture, almost straight out of the comics. So, but I mean, JD's mentioning in the chat about like pulling out the weapon and that's cheating. I'm like, but that's what he's there for. He's got that. Let's use it. It's not like, why would you not use it? So Kind of like Iron Man going, I'm not going to bother to use my armor. Fuck it. No. It's like, I've got the armor. I shall use it. I've got the weapon. Why not? It's going to give me the advantage here, and I need to win this fight. So, yeah, but I did like that bit where it's like, if you leave New York, I'll leave. Like, New York's got enough protectors. It's got enough superheroes. It's
More
like
than enough.
Central hub of the planet Earth for superheroes. Which still makes it all the more interesting how we don't get more superheroes intervening in these situations. But we've had that conversation many a time.
Yeah, neither here nor there.
So interesting. He's like, you leave New York, I'll leave New York, and Fisk is like, absolutely not. There's nothing you can give. There's nothing that you can take from me. I'm here to do this.
Right. To the end.
Matt's like, okay, and then let's do it. But then there just seems to be no consequence from that fight. It was just a bit of a beatdown for the other.
Right. I like the brutality of it, though. I mean, they're definitely...
That's what you expect to see from the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you've had all the way through.
And it is cool how they're so familiar with each other. They can have like a conversation first, even though they're sworn enemies. Like, all right, let's try and talk this out. All right, it's not going to work. Let's just beat the shit out of each other.
It's always interesting to me as well that Matt always calls him Fisk, but like Fisk is now changed and used to call him Mr. Murdoch, and now he just calls him Matt. So even that familiarity of it all, just in like these, like Matt's never changed his stance. He's always Fisk in every conversation. He's Fisk, and but like now Kingpin's like he just calls him Matt now. So he's just like, yeah, I'm done with the pretense of calling you Daredevil or Mr. Murdoch. He's like, you're just Matt.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We'll talk about it in the next episode when Matt shows up in court. Does a total badass, but. So episode 7, Karen's locked up. Fisk immediately comes to see her, chokes her through the cage. You're the sidekick of a vigilante. And she's like, I've never seen you this scared before, which I don't know. I think she was kind of bluffing a little bit. He seems scared, but also he seemed in control of the situation at the same time. Karen and Matt kind of kiss and make up, and she's saying, I can't come with you. I have to face him in court. He's losing the city and he knows it. And then the DA needs Heather's help with the case again, and she kind of asks Fisk how he's dealing with it, like person to person. And he's saying, no, I never expected to be alone. And he puts the ring back on the table that she stole earlier.
I thought it was an earring, because there were 2 of them, weren't there?
Oh, it was an earring.
So she looked like one, and then there was one left.
Got it. But so do you feel bad for Fisk at all? Like, I know him and Vanessa had a solid relationship for a villain. In a way, for 2 villains. But do you feel bad for him at all?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, I'm pretty sadistic, so I'm probably on the side of no. Like, get what you deserve, I suppose.
Right.
As much as many villains think they're the hero in what they're doing, even if they know their logic is maybe twisted or what they're doing is dark, they still kind of believe that they're right at the end of the day. And Fisk has done this thing for many years where he thinks he's right because he's got justification because of what he went through, the person that the events of a child turned him into, and so therefore he thinks that whatever he's done to get his business to grand heights and then to be mayor is all justified. But obviously we know that it's not. It's not in terms of like morality. No, it's wrong. So therefore you reap what you sow. If you're a bad person, bad things should happen. So therefore we shouldn't feel sorry for you.
That's fair. That is fair. So we get to the courtroom, and the DA has to know he's just a complete piece of shit by now, right? Like, I forgot the female attorney's name that works with Matt. What's her name?
God. It's killing me now.
That's okay. But she starts talking about, like everything the task force is doing, and it kind of pans to him, and he kind of like shrugs his shoulders and looks down a little bit like, yeah, I don't think I'm doing the right thing. I've gotten very far from where I was in college trying to be a lawyer. I'm not the same person anymore. And there's no jury. It's just 3 judges. And it's basically, are you still pro Fisk and what he's doing in this city? Or are you over all this, crazy chaos has been going on? That's really how this this case will go down.
Vigilante court as well, isn't it? So
right.
It's the same one we saw previously, the Muse. And I just love it when the judge is like, "There's no jury to play to here," and she's like, "Are you sure about that?"
There's like 10 cameras,
all the cameras, everyone's watching this.
And then Matt Murdock comes in for the defense, and everyone's like, "You're crazy, bro! Like you've been missing for months now." And Fisk is watching, and he was right when he says that Karen is going to lead everyone else to the fire. Like she's the pawn and everyone else is going to kind of make themselves guilty by being in association with her. Officer Powell comes up, talks about the bullshit he's been doing. Face scars guy, don't know his name. And they're talking about the welfare check they did on Matt. And she's like, you brought assault rifles to a welfare check? Like, seems a little over the top. So we haven't gotten a courtroom scene in a while. Did this feel vintage to you, or was it MCU courtroom?
A little bit, because I think the original Netflix series used to give him slightly longer court scenes.
Right.
It was over quite quickly, to be fair, once he turned up. He did a little bit. It's good to see him back in the courtroom, though, because that's something I do miss as Daredevil. We didn't really get that season. We got a little bit of season 1, but they ended that quite quickly, like, with everything that was going on. And so, what we episode 7 out of 8 till we get him back in the courtroom again in season 2. Yeah, it was good to have him back. I do miss these scenes, because it's not just him about using his powers, it's just showing how great he is as a lawyer, and his reasoning, his argument is the way that he can pick up on things and turn it on people. So I've missed Matt as a lawyer, so it was such a badass move. Like, you knew it was coming as well, because you say we missed talking about it, but great to see Brett Mahoney back as well, the cop. That obviously brings Karen out to see Matt. Great to see him back from the original series. But yeah, so I knew that's what was going to happen as well, though, when he's talking to Karen and she's like, I can't come with you. He's like, I know, but I know what I need to do. And I was like, yeah, you're going to show up in court, badass. And to walk through those doors. Like, yeah, absolutely boss man move. And like, Fisk still didn't seem particularly happy, though, because even if he's like, Karen is the one that will bring everyone to the fire, because everyone seems to flock to her, like, still, it seemed like almost a move that Fisk didn't expect, in a way.
The balls.
Yeah, just like Matt to show up after being missing. But it's because as well he can do that because Fisk declared him a hero. And he's like, this hero is missing, we need to find him. And so therefore he can show up as a hero and not immediately be questioned as to where he's been for months. They're just like, oh my god, the hero's returned. He saved Fisk. But now he's arguing on the side of people against Fisk.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
So it kind of like tips the scales back in like the public thinking.
How much of the finale do you think is in a courtroom? Think we get another good 15 minutes?
Yeah, I think a little bit, definitely.
Yeah.
Because obviously they said we'll recess the next morning, and towards the end of the series, obviously the task force decide, fuck this, and they just like try and take out.
Attack it in the parking garage was crazy.
So it was just like, oh, well, let's just gun down the 2 lawyers that are like, how do they think was going to happen here?
Right, like, how does that going to end?
So it's just crazy the amount of people that are like getting killed off in this series, and like nothing's ever done about it.
Right.
And like, so it'd be interesting to see like where it stands in how much of the task force override like NYPD, for example, in terms when it comes to like murder investigations and what they can do, because obviously they seem to be overriding them to some extent, because they're just kidnapping people off the street and locking them up in random places. And so like, how many people can you murder and get away with, sort of situation, without the NYPD sort of sticking their nose in?
Yeah, Fisk obviously sent them to take out Matt and the other lawyers, but what did he think was going to happen after that? Like, how was that?
I'm not sure he did, I think that was like, I'm not sure Fisk gave the okay for that.
Okay.
Like, to me, it just seemed like the task force wanted revenge, because he's also about to make them look like a bunch of pricks in court.
Okay.
So they were like, fuck this, we'll take them out, sort of attitude. Especially since technically none of them know that Matt is Daredevil, because the only ones that did know, Bullseye killed. So, like, and obviously, but Powell and a couple of the others know that obviously Matt is a skilled fighter, because he obviously beat the shit out of him in season 1.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was like, I don't think Fisk would send the task force to do the dirty work on Matt like that, when I think Fisk wants to take him out himself.
That's true.
So I think this was the task force acting on their own.
Fisk isn't going to like that if he finds out then.
Possibly, yeah. It could just be like, what, I don't know what I was going to say then, to be fair. Yeah, I agree. I don't think you'd be that happy.
So Matt frees Bullseye. We kind of talked about this earlier. I hate you for everyone you killed. Part of me wants to kill you. Part of me wants to forgive you. And like he nursed him back to health, so Bullseye can't just immediately betray him, right? You have to give him like a couple week grace period for what he's done. And the governor almost gets taken out. I'm wondering who you think Fisk sent this person, or you think Charlie?
Oh yeah.
Fisk.
Oh, I think big time Fisk. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Fisk knows that the governor's the one that's got the power to like rip up the free pass that his port has.
Right.
And so therefore, no governor there to do it, and they can hopefully manipulate the next governor that's in place.
Right. And Bullseye saves her last second.
Yeah, originally I thought it might have been Buck that had been sent to kill her, but then obviously I don't think that's true from where we see him.
Yeah,
in the doing other stuff in the episode. But interesting that send an assassin and like, because when Daredevil was like, one good deed, and if you want to redeem yourself, go and do this. And I thought it was going to be to protect Karen,
right,
rather than go and save the governor of New York. Like,
Karen could have used him.
Yeah, they both could have used him in that moment when Matt still got to pretend to be blind.
Yeah.
And got shot for his troubles as well. Was it in the leg? I thought he got shot in the stomach for a minute, but it seemed to be in the leg.
He's all right.
But yeah, so the governor's saved. They'll kick Fisk out of office in the next episode.
And what do you see Bullseye's role in the finale being? Think he comes back and helps Matt? Do you think he does maybe comes back and kills some people that Matt doesn't want killed? Like a Punisher.
Well, like we said, we kind of hope he kills Powell for the
right.
task force. It's that weird situation that you could easily like just say he's done for this season, where he just walked away there, because we know he's in next season as well.
Think he's in prison with everyone else?
No.
Okay.
I do. You could easily just say that he's done now. He's only one episode to go. He doesn't need to come back. He did his good deed and he's walked away, and so therefore he doesn't come back until next season for whatever reason. But I could also easily see that he would need to turn up for the last fight or the last stand or whatever, between Daredevil, Jessica, the task force or whatever, go in and get his few licks in. Especially when we're like, Matt's just like, I told you not to kill people, and Paul's like, this is all I know how to do now. So he's like, and some of these people deserve it, and I have more than one good deed left to do, and it's killing people. So you could like see him going down, like having a similar sort of thing with like him and Frank.
Right.
Like season 2 of the Netflix one, when Frank shows up at the end on the rooftop shooting people to help him and Elektra out. I can see Bullseye doing a similar sort of thing where he just shows up, kills a few people from afar, throwing things, and then just like Daredevil turns around and he's just like salutes and walks away, sort of thing.
Right. Now I've never seen season 3 of the Netflix show.
That's fine.
Been ashamed for. But Bullseye has grown on me. I don't think he's reached the levels of Punisher or Fisk. Obviously, I think those are kind of the top 2 when it comes to the Daredevil universe. But he's pretty sick, and I would like to see like another cool action scene, because I feel like all we really got was the restaurant, and it was a little corny. So I would like to see another classic Bullseye scene taking.
I mean, if you'd watch season 3 of the Netflix show, you probably get a few more.
Probably, yeah, a lot of good ones. So back to BB and Daniel. This is pretty crazy ending to this episode. She kind of starts confronting him about, being so close to Fisk and, this life he's living, and he's basically in the denial to get a better life, to get out of, this house in Staten Island with his mom. But he's also way too deep into this to, back out now. Like, it's basically stay with Fisk or die, maybe run to another country. You could try that method, but and he's been ignoring Buck's calls too. So Buck's definitely on to him. And at first you think he's going to go with it and he's going to take out BB himself. And she realizes, this isn't a safe house, and starts to like resist as he's taking her in. And, he changes his mind last second and sends her on her way. And she kisses him, right? Is there a kiss there? There was no kiss.
I don't think so. No.
Dang, all that for not even first base.
Yeah.
And Daniel goes up there and says, basically she had
Sorry, are you saying the only reason to save someone's life is if you're getting some poo-tang out of it?
Yeah. Come on, give me a little on the front.
Oh, Jesus. I'm not even going to play on the semantics of what that means.
We can
I'm setting Gen Z on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. So Buck and Daniel confront each other. And he basically says, fuck you, Buck. After Buck starts to ask questions, it's like, oh shit. And Buck starts to like beat the shit out of him. And you think for a second like Buck's gonna resist, and even Daniel says like, "How long till you're on the floor with the gun pointed at your head?" And I think that really gets to Buck, where he's like, "Yeah, like that could happen, but for now, I got to do my job." And R.I.P.
Headshot.
Ring the bells for Gandolfini's son, Daniel. You know, the Sopranos Jr.
Yeah.
So, are you sad to see Daniel go? I kind of liked him as a character. He was cool. The list was a little annoying, but he was a cool side character. How'd this go for you?
Yeah, this was a weird one, wasn't it? Because like, it kind of feels lame to let BB go, because you like follow through with it, man. Have some balls if you're going to go down this route. But there's obviously a difference between like helping bury a guy that's already dead and then sending someone that you know is going to be to their death.
Right.
So I guess morally that's a little bit different, and I can understand them maybe letting her go. But it's obviously the decision you've got to make is between sending her up to Buck when she's going to get killed, or letting her go, knowing you're probably going to take her place. So it's like Daniel doesn't seem like the kind of guy who was so easily ready to throw away his own life. I wonder if he felt like he could probably talk Buck out of it.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, because they have been building a good rapport over the last sort of 3 or 4 episodes, and stuff like that. And you never know with obviously Buck how real he's being when he says he likes someone or anything like that. It just seems he's always playing a character that sort of like just says whatever needs to be said to get the person on side. He doesn't really ever believe that he feels like that. So yeah, I think Daniel went in probably thinking he could probably change his mind. He knew he was probably going to get his ass whooped, but he's like, I can probably change his mind.
Not die, at least.
Yeah. And then obviously just beats the shit out of him. And I was like, damn, this is pretty brutal. And then, yeah, like you said, Buck seems like he's maybe wavering for that moment. And you're like, it's either going to be cliche and Buck now turns as well, or he does the job. And like, so it pans out, doesn't it? And then he just shoots him in the head.
He could be like, hey, go away. Like, leave the country, leave the state. I never want to see you again. If I see you again, I'll kill. That's cliche.
It's a bit cliche, yeah.
Like the kill was cool. I mean, not cool, but it was like, wow, like they just killed off a side main character in a Marvel show, you know.
And at least it puts down the rumors as well that he was going to be like Fisk's illegitimate son. Because I hated those rumors, those theories. I was just like, I don't enjoy that. It seems like, again, too much of a cliche thing that he knows it's his illegitimate son and he's brought him into the fold to keep him close and will eventually reveal his plan to him and reveal who he is and stuff like this. And it's like, no, don't need that. So balls to kill off character. I mean, I have said many a time, you guys know this, there's never enough deaths of main characters in these types of shows over the long, either short or long term, and especially in the MCU. I've been a big critical person over the fact that not enough big characters have died over the last, what are we, like 18 years of the MCU now?
17, 18, yeah.
So, I mean, 2008 was when it started.
Okay, yeah.
So 18 years and we've had like less than a handful of main characters die. And all the things that they've been through.
And one's coming back.
So yeah, it was good to see him actually have the balls to kill off a character like that.
And it was really cool how they edited the final scene. You have Matt praying in the church and you have what's going on with Daniel at the same time. I like how they went back and forth. And also the church aspect of the Catholic aspect of Matt is slightly being brought back into the show, which I do enjoy, because I was kind of the one, moral reason why he doesn't kill is because he's, a good Catholic boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big part of his character going through the Netflix series. I wouldn't say they've thrown it away here, but they've touched on it so little. It's
right,
and it is
he used to go see the Reverend, the father, all the time,
and it is a big part of his character. And like they name dropped his mum in the early episode when Bullseye went to the church, and then he's like, Sister Maggie around, and obviously he's like, no, she's away at the moment. Obviously that's his mum from the Netflix
his mom
series. Oh, you haven't seen season 3? Shit.
Oh, that's his mom.
Well, you don't see her, so you don't even know what she looks like.
Oh, interesting.
Forget the name.
No, that's fine. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
But yeah, so like they haven't really touched on his faith a lot in the new series, which is something again that maybe detracts from the character because that's part of what makes him and gives him his moral stance.
Right.
So yeah, I like that they've maybe brought back in the church a little bit, and you'd see him sitting in there praying and stuff, and they seem to have brought it in a few more, and maybe the second half of the series, haven't they, more? So, and then Jessica walks in at the end, doesn't she? They love to show in this shot of her walking in with her boots, don't they?
Yeah, why did they pan to the boots first? I thought it was like, oh, this is a new character we haven't seen before, and then it just pans up and it's, oh, it's Jessica Jones. Like, why do we need to do that?
But I think they did that at least 3 times in these 2 episodes. It's just like, why did we do that?
She got cool boots. Dockers.
Are they? I don't know. I'm not a boot
But do you have any, before we wrap this up, do you have any predictions for the finale next week? Any deaths? Any, how does Fisk get taken out of office, basically?
I mean, I think they're going to do that on the political route rather than, I think they're just going to indict him and just like remove him from office, essentially. I don't know if indict is the right word to use in the American political system, whatever. But yeah, I think they're basically, he'll just get removed from office by the Attorney General that the governor was calling. They'll just step in and get him removed.
Someone tried to kill her just now too, so.
Well, yeah, it's true. So I think they'll definitely be going for Fisk on that one. By the look of it, somehow Matt ends up in prison.
Right.
So maybe it's like part of a deal that Daredevil does at the very end, where he's like, I need to go and do this final battle, but after it, I'll give myself up.
Right.
Sort of self-sacrifice to maybe keep Karen or someone else, or like Jessica safe or something. Thanks, Mike Coulter, Luke Cage actor, for spoiling that for us, because that's just throwing it all in the bag now. Like, okay, Matt, for all we know, it could be middle of next season he ends up in prison, not even now.
True.
But going by JD's theory, JD was always the one that panned the theory that he'll end up in prison. They'll all end up in prison at the end of this season, so very possible now.
He said that before the picture was released.
Yeah, he did. Credit. Yeah, I gave him credit for that one, to be fair. It's just, you want that big showdown, don't you, between all the characters? Like, you want Matt and Daredevil and Jessica to go up against like Fisk and some of the task force guys, and we know that the stupid what's her face, the Matt's ex, who's
Heather,
that's it. You know what, my old age is affecting me. I can't remember names.
It's
I'm
late
doing
for
it
you
all the time. Even Star Wars, I'm forgetting names. It's fucking appalling. So Heather, she deserves to be killed off, but she's not going to be. Power from the task force.
The whole task force has to end, right? This is the end of the task force.
They'll end the task force, but like, it's just how many of them get killed beforehand. The main dudes that we've seen, like say Scarface and Powell, they'll hopefully all get killed off.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. You would have loved to seen, obviously, that like a little like Frank cameo to come back for a final battle, perhaps.
I know.
Even if it was just on a rooftop firing shots to like clear the path for them. Because like we're gonna find out obviously in 2 weeks' time where he is and what he's been doing in his own special, but still it would have been nice to just see him come into this season. But he's too busy off doing the Odyssey and doing Spider-Man.
He's a busy man.
So yeah,
and I guess Foggy's really dead. They really killed off Foggy in the first scene of the first episode, huh?
I mean, we're nearly 2 seasons deep, and he's not hidden anywhere. I mean,
what if Foggy walked through those doors instead of Matt? How cool would have that been? If it was Foggy that walked through the doors to, be with Karen?
I mean, I don't always like referring back to the comics, but there was obviously a comic run where
he faked his death,
Vanessa, right? Yeah, Vanessa tried to get Foggy killed and then had him like just faked his death and had him locked up somewhere. So there was always the theories going around that was a possibility, especially when the trailer was released for this season and there was a Foggy scene in it, but it was old school Foggy with his old haircut. Yeah. So I always knew that was going to be the case, and it cheapens his death. Or I think it cheapens the audience if you do like kill him off in the first episode of the first season, and then halfway through season 2 or the end of season 2, you bring him back magically.
Right.
I know this is like comic books and MCU where people can come back from the dead and shit, but like it just cheapens it too much. I mean, I would have been really pissed off if that happened, because you need that emotional weight. Because that's why we had those scenes with Matt and Frank in season 1. That's why we've had all that part of the exposition between Bullseye and Matt in these 2 seasons because of that incident. And you bring back Foggy, you wipe it all away. So no Foggy in the finale in season 3.
Yeah,
I just want a bit more courtroom Matt, which I think we'll get, and I think he'll actually end up getting Karen off.
Yeah.
Especially after the Task Force have gone after them and tried to kill them. I think they get him out of there. And just a big showdown. Like, people are talking about, some people are saying maybe they're getting a bit tired of Fisk being the villain of Daredevil now, because it's like technically we're 5 seasons deep and he's been there every step of the way. Even season 2, you can say he didn't play like a major villain, but he was still in there instigating and twisting things. So and obviously we know he's in season 3. We've seen the set pictures of him.
You think he's in jail too? I think they're all in jail together.
That'd be kind of cool. I think Fisk is, because you see him with the big white bushy beard, and like he goes away and grows that by himself. Even though he didn't grow one in like season 2 in Netflix when he was in prison, I think this time he just lets himself go because he's just like lost everything properly this time.
Yeah,
like Vanessa, the mayorship, everything. Like he built himself back up and he's proper rock bottom now. So he just let himself go and grow a big beard. But I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's time to move on from Fisk as a villain?
It's kind of like Batman and the Joker in a way. You know, Fisk and Daredevil work so well together, and I love season 1 of the Netflix show. I like it more than season 2, just because of Fisk is in it, and Fisk being in this show does bring it to another level. But I do think still having him in the show, but not the main villain, is probably the right choice.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Who would it be though? If it's, the Defenders?
Well, we talk about how, I think we talked before about how obviously the Hand are coming back in Spider-Man,
right?
And obviously we're getting the Defenders back together in season 3 of Daredevil. So maybe some iteration of the Hand and the Defenders coming back for season 3.
Ninjas.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say in a way, because like, why else would you need the Defenders back together? Maybe I was going to say Allegra. We just looked at Valentina. She said her name. Has something up her sleeve as well, because if she's been sending like Luke Cage and maybe Iron Fist abroad or something to fight battles, and they're brought back to New York because she's fucked something up, and she's like an overarching villain whilst using smaller street villains to do her bidding, so to speak. That could be an interesting way to go.
Any cameos in the finale? Do you think we see a Thunderbolt in it? No. Val might pop up at the end of the episode, but you don't think we see a superhero?
No, I don't think so.
Not even a Red Guardian or a Yelena or something.
You have to remember,
it wouldn't make sense though, right?
I mean, to me, it wouldn't make sense simply because Thunderbolts is in the middle of these 2 seasons. They're not Thunderbolts anymore. They're the new Avengers, so they see themselves as the Avengers team. Like,
what if they recruit Daredevil for Doomsday or something? I'm getting crazy here.
No, I know, but it's just the fact that like they're the new Avengers. They're concerning themselves with other things rather than what Daredevil and Fisk is up to, potentially, because they're like, we're here to protect America or the planet. We're not here to deal with New York. The mayor,
yeah.
So
we're above the mayor.
Even though like he's pretty fucking wild, that it affects everyone in New York what Fisk has been up to. So, like, it would have affected Spider-Man. It would have affected Doctor Strange, even though I guess he's disappeared and he's off with Clea somewhere doing something in a different dimension. But you know what I mean? Like, there's so many New York superheroes. It's just hard to think, how does not any of them step in and we see them?
And no tease for Brand New Day or Punisher special either. I think this is just a solid finish to this show. It doesn't set up anything else.
No, I think it sets up all its own stuff. We know it's ending, obviously, the Mayor Fisk storyline. Punisher's got the special the week after, which is going to set up things for Spider-Man.
Right.
So I think, they leave it be. It just sets up whatever for season 3. I hope they wrap it up in a nice enough way that there isn't like an overwhelming cliffhanger.
Good. That makes sense.
I hate that. Like, don't give me a massive cliffhanger. Just end it on a nice enough note that everything's wrapped up with maybe a couple of questions ready for season 3.
Right. No, I'm excited. And we'll be bringing you that coverage next week, along with the finale of Maul. We got 3 more episodes of The Boys to cover. I'm sure we'll do a double episode next week and then cover the finale by itself. And we have our May the 4th episode.
It's a busy week next week. May the 4th. We got a couple of... so as we said, May the 4th, Maul and Devil ending. The Boys to catch up on, which has been crazy. I've already watched this week's episode. So there's next week we might have to just pick a show each and just do a single episode by ourselves and cover everything.
No, it'll be you and me doing all three. Okay. No, but thank you for joining us for our coverage of Daredevil all season. We'll see you again next week, wrapping it up, and we'll see you next time at Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast.